Okay, so this is everything that you need to know on how to stop cravings from a nutritionist and someone who literally thought she was addicted to food for a large portion of my life. I remember in high school specifically going online and typing, am I addicted to sugar? I was that girl eating at night, going into the Nutella and cookie dough, eating just globs and globs of things, thinking I was addicted. So cravings and your mindset around them are my cup of tea, and that's what we're gonna get into today. We're breaking this into nutritional things that you can physically do and assess yourself on like what you're doing day to day. And then later in the video, we're gonna get into the more mindset piece of things that aren't as commonly talked about, but are arguably as important, if not more important than the nutrition stuff. So here we go. I have 4 things that you can do nutrition-wise. First thing is drink a full glass of water when you wake up. It's super, super easy to do just right away. You get in the habit, drink a full glass of water. When you're sleeping all night long, right, we're not drinking water, and so we're already at a dehydrated place, and dehydration can lead to more cravings throughout the day. So obviously I want you to drink water throughout the day as well, but getting that head start in the morning is gonna be a really big help for you. Second tip is eat more protein, especially in the mornings. That grande latte with a granola bar and an orange juice is just packed with sugar, and although sugar is not bad, having only a meal comprised of those things is going to lead to more cravings down the road, which is why we want something that is more comprehensive, that is more balanced, that has some protein in it, some fiber, and it's gonna keep you fuller for longer and kind of calm down those hunger hormones.
I need
So an easy target is aim for about 30 grams per meal of protein. Third tip is to add more fiber. Believe it or not, we get most of our fiber from carbs, which is a food that is commonly eliminated. So if we're not eating the breads, the pastas, the rice, we're not going to get enough fiber usually, and we are going to feel hungrier later, and it's going to promote those cravings. And fiber can come from whole grains like whole grain bread, pasta, rice, quinoa, those types of things. It also comes from vegetables, so load up on lots of veggies, and from fruit.
Eat your vegetables!
So we don't need to eliminate the breads and the fruit, which is, I know, a very common thing because there's so much misinformation out there. And that ties into my last nutritional tip actually, which is to incorporate more balance overall across your day. If you are craving snacky carbs at night, you may need to add more carbs throughout the day. I'll give you an example. If you typically go for the salad at lunch because you feel like it's the healthier option, but you really want the sandwich and you always feel physically unsatisfied and emotionally unsatisfied afterward, then it will probably benefit you to choose the sandwich over the salad. It may be a little more calorie dense, it may have a little bit more calories, but if that meal is physically and emotionally more satisfying and it prevents you from stuffing yourself with Doritos at 9 p.m. at night, then it's going to be the smarter choice regardless of calories. Now let's get into some of the mental things that we can work on at the same time of these physical things. So they're both very important. The first thing, if you tell yourself you can't have something, your immediate reaction is probably going to be you want it even more. And this is actually something called reactance in psychology. When we are told either by ourselves or by someone else that we can't have something or do something, the only way that we can gain autonomy is to do the opposite of that thing. That's the only way that we feel like we are still in control. So if I tell myself I can't have cookies, which I used to do because they're bad and they're gonna make me fat and all these things that we tell ourselves, that we have a bad association with them, then I'm going to want them even more. And the only thing I'm going to be able to think about is cookies. Despite it being the thing that I'm trying to avoid. And I'm going to think about them until I get the opportunity to eat them. And then at that point, I'm going to feel so out of control and I'm just going to stuff myself completely and eat all of the cookies because I feel like it's the last time I'm going to have this opportunity, because I know the next day, since I already messed up, that I need to go back to square one and I need to eliminate them to undo what I have done. It's this rebellion that comes out of us that gets us in this position. And the only way to overcome that is permission. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but stay with me because this literally is what fixed my relationship with food. If instead I approach the cookies with, I'm allowed to have this food if I want, and I'm going to eat the amount that is physically and emotionally satisfying to me, it removes all of the pressure immediately to just stuff yourself until discomfort. And you're probably going to have a much better outcome. Of course, this technique does take practice, and the first time that you do it, You may end up eating too much, and you may end up spiraling out of control. But the point is, with practice, you start to normalize this food and you don't feel so out of control around it anymore. Practice is key. First, you may binge, and that is okay. Become curious. Curiosity is going to be your best friends to keep you from judging yourself. And so you can ask yourself, what can I learn from the situation for the next time? Instead of thinking, oh my God, like I can't believe I just did that. I feel so bad. Like now I need to go over exercise. I feel so fat. I'm gonna give up. Instead of all those thoughts, you can now say, my body doesn't feel so great right now. Eating 20 cookies probably is not the best thing for me, and that's why I feel so much discomfort. How about next time I just try to eat what is going to be physically satisfying to me and see what happens? And then maybe the next time you try 2 cookies and you feel physically and emotionally satisfied, and then that's proof to you that you are in control. This approach is hands down the best thing that I ever did for my relationship with food. The next mental tip that I have is to adjust your food beliefs. For example, it's a very common belief that we shouldn't be able to have dessert every day. I definitely did, and it only exacerbated my binging problem. I now eat some form of chocolate every single day without guilt, because to me, that is so much healthier mentally than where I was before, forcing myself to restrict it only to then think about chocolate every moment of the day. And that's not healthy. If you eat majority of lean proteins, whole grains, healthy fats, fruits and vegetables, all of these things that we try to promote, if you eat majority of that, then a little bit of dessert every single day is not going to make an impact on your health or body composition. The less special you treat a food, the less power it will have over you. When you normalize a food by having it every day, at some point you will turn it down because you just are over it. And that's honestly what happened with me. I would go to doctor's offices or the bank or whatever, and they would always have like little goodies of chocolate and things like that. But now those things aren't as attractive to me, aren't as appealing to me, because my standards for chocolate are much higher now that I have permission to have it at any time that I want. When you give yourself permission, you can be more selective with what you decide to indulge in. And that's what gives you power over the food and not the food having power over you. So you can feel in control. Those are the tips that I have found to be most helpful, and I really hope that they help you too. When it comes down to your cravings, you really need to act like an investigator. I know our immediate reaction is to just judge ourselves and think that it's just a willpower problem, but there's actually a lot more to it now that you see. And by going through each of these tips that I have for you, you can experiment with these things and see what is most helpful to you. I promise you're not the only one who has felt crazy around food. I have been there too, and I'm sure everyone watching this video has also experienced that. Please let me know if this was helpful and drop your questions below. I would love to hear from you. And that is all. I will see you on the next one. Bye!